So tell me why you're here.
Because I stand for the rights of the people, and for the people I am fighting for the last so many years, all my life, and I will keep fighting for the people against the imperialism, against the NATO, against all those powers who are controlling the people's life. I am against them. Even if my life will go, I will sacrifice it.
My name is Ernie.
Hi Ernie, why are you here? What brings you here?
Well, I guess I've been convinced for a long time that war is not the way to solve problems, and I've been involved in the peace movement through Conscience Canada, through World Beyond War, and also have been checking out Peace Alliance Winnipeg and saw they had this event today, so I drove out, yes.
Hi, can I do an interview?
Sure, but I'm not very...
That's okay, I just want to know why you're here.
I'm here to support not to go to war against Russia. I don't think it's something that needs to happen. I mean, war with Russia would essentially be World War III, I think.
Why are you here?
Oh, because we don't like how NATO is, I think, pushing Russia into war, Ukraine into war, and I think that best if Zelensky just said no thanks to NATO, and then engage in some peace talks with Russia. They could make a settlement of the thing, avoid war. You got nuclear powers there. Come on, it's very dangerous. NATO should have been abolished many years ago. When the Soviet Union fell and the satellites fell, who needs NATO?
Hey.
Hi, how are you?
There's a lot of war hysteria being generated by the media, along with various political forces in Canada, the US, Europe as well. And we're just here to say no to that. And we're not the only ones, but we want to add our voice that calmer heads should prevail.
What's your name?
Hi, my name's Paul Kinasevich.
Hi, what brings you out here?
Well, I'm very concerned about what's happening in Ukraine, the escalating tensions between NATO and Russia. I'm a member of the Ukrainian community here in Winnipeg, and it hurts to see, my country being played in this tug of war for ages, and now things are reaching a tipping point and something has to be done.
Okay, it's German, right?
German, yeah.
Okay, German, why are you here?
Because war need peace. War don't need war. The imperialism with the United States are trying to create a war because they need to sell weapons. We need food, we need jobs, we don't need war. That is because I'm here.
Thank you. So Harold?
Yeah. Yes, Paul?
Why are you here?
I'm here today because it's unbelievable to think that
it's interesting
nations are still fighting and going to war with each other. I don't understand the thinking, the mentality that would make a leader think that the way to impress upon the citizens in which they govern is by going to war with somebody else. We need to live in peace. We need to work together, not to be fighting. And it's got to end. That's why I'm here today.
Thank you everybody for coming today. Very important action, as you saw on the street. Very good response from people going by in their cars and on the sidewalks taking the pamphlet. Very important action. Today Winnipeg was joined by Vancouver, Regina, Waterloo, and Toronto in similar action saying no war with Russia. Everyone should be prepared that we'll have a same action next Saturday, because even though things are changing rapidly, and it seems that the drive for war by the US, Canada, and Great Britain, and NATO is running into obstacles in Europe and in Ukraine, we still have to be prepared to counter the massive hysteria that's going on daily for war with Russia. So one of the organizations that helped organize for today, Peace Alliance was one, the Manitoba Club of the Communist Party of Canada was another one. I'd like to ask Rob if he has a few words he would just like to say, and then we'll have one last statement and then we'll conclude. Hi. Everybody can hear me? So the Communist Party of Canada condemns Foreign Affairs Minister Melanie Joly's recent visit to Kiev as a provocation against Russia and a statement of support for Western imperialism's warmongering. Through her visit, she has contributed to legitimizing a fascist regime with the aim of escalating tensions between NATO and Russia. At the end of her visit, she reiterated Canada's openness to Ukraine joining NATO, as well as the possibility of trading arms with the Eastern European country. She's following through on a policy of unconditional assistance and support for Ukraine, which is manifested, among other things, by the $785 million in aid program since 2014, but above all by the presence of about 200 Canadian troops and police through Operation Unifier. However, the question arises, who are these friends who benefit from this assistance? When Canada says it wants to defend democracy against a despotic and imperialist Russia, what does it really mean? The truth is enough to send a chill down the back of many democratic and progressives. Post Made in Ukraine is nothing less than a den of neo-Nazis and fascists who occupy key positions in the highest spheres of public administration and the state. It is to them that Melanie Joly speaks when she comes out as the friend. The facts bear this out. In 2018, Operation Unifier officials were seen training neo-Nazi fascist militias from the Azov Battalion. This militia has been part of Ukrainian National Guard since 2014 and is responsible for several human rights violations and crimes in the country. Its commander, Zelensky, has already declared the destiny of Ukraine is to lead the white races of the world in a final crusade against the untermenschen Semites. As for the National Police, which the United States pledged to finance and train after 2014, it is also led by neo-Nazis like Vadim Troyan, veteran of the Azov Battalion. Since 2015, the perpetrators of the massacres of more than 100,000 Ukrainians, Jews, Poles, communists, trade unionists, and anti-fascists, including what is undoubtedly the most famous of them all, that of Babi Yar, have been recognized as national heroes. Symbols and demonstrations that glorify Nazi fascism are increasing with the complicity and even financing from the government and security forces. The Communist Party, one of the main political forces in the country, has borne the brunt of persecutions, seizures orchestrated by the regime, constant attacks, and raids. In 2015, a law criminalizing communist symbols, but accommodating to fascist and Nazi symbols, prevented the party from standing for election. We also remember that in 2014 in Odessa, the trade union's house was set on fire on May 2nd by pro-Maidan fascists, killing 46 people who opposed a Ukraine that NATO and the EU were serving on a silver platter to reactionaries and seditious groups. So, the Communist Party of Canada calls on the Canadian government to halt its militarist policy and to take action to de-escalate the crisis. Repatriate Canadian troops stationed in Ukraine and Latvia and stop deploying troops outside the country. Cease all sales of arms and military equipment to Ukraine. Withdraw from NATO, an aggressive and murderous alliance, and adopt an independent foreign policy of peace, disarmament, and international cooperation. Oppose NATO's eastward expansion and call for the organization's complete dissolution, and re-establish full and constructive diplomatic relations with the Russian Federation. All right, thanks very much. No war with Russia.
No war with Russia.
Okay, thank you. And again, thank you everybody for coming. Thank you for coming out and saying no war with Russia. It's very important that we escalate this. plan again for next Saturday at noon at this corner that we'll have the same demonstration, because that's the plans right now from the national peace movement opposing the threat of war with Russia. Thank you very much.